Good evening, good afternoon. It is Wednesday. Kizzy and I were just outside hanging out, enjoying the spring nights and the warmth, and I was hoping I could have done my live outside, but it just gets dark right around that kind of 10 to 8 mark. So we've moved inside for cuddles on the couch and to connect with you out there in the big wide world. So tonight, I just really wanted to speak to you all from the heart tonight. For those of you that haven't been following along, it has been a pretty remarkable whirlwind couple of days for me. And what has happened is on the weekend, I won the Australian Institute of Conveyance's President's Award for leadership and best practice in my industry. So what that really means is there's one award per year for the business owners, and I was lucky enough, well, not lucky isn't a word, but I received that award for the entire state for this year. So it's a pretty big deal, to be honest. And I just really wanted to speak really raw and from the heart about what winning that award is all about, what it means, what it took to get there, and what it means moving forward, and a little bit about the community. Hi Andrea, thanks for jumping on. So as I've just explained, the award's a pretty big deal, and it's not just for me personally, but also for our local area, like for our Albury area, and for something to come out of Albury, of something that big, and be competing with these innovations in Sydney markets and things like that. It's great for our market down here to see that it can be done. So I had the award in my sight for some time, but something that I really wanted. And with the award, you can't self-nominate, which is great. And I had joked around with friends saying that if you could self-nominate, I would win, because everybody knows I can write my way out of everything. So it was good that you weren't allowed to self-nominate, because it really meant that I had to be making sure I was executing all of my goals and doing it in a way that I really wanted to portray, and not just talk the talk, but walk the walk. And that's what I did. And it's really important also to know that this award didn't just come from 1 year of me stepping up. This award came from the 9.5 years before now. 9.5 years of when I started off as a solopreneur in, a lonely world. For you solopreneurs out there, I have been there. It is tough, and it is a lonely old time, and I still have periods of loneliness now. So I started there, and it was 9.5 years of the journey that I've been on that led me to that award. It wasn't just the last year. So having that award in my sights for some time, it's a really interesting concept that I wanted to share, because many times when we have a really big goal, we can reach that goal and so many people feel lost. So here's an example. So you think of our Olympians, they will train for how many years, and then when they get that gold medal on the step, they've completed their goal, and they wake up the next day and they're like, what next? And you can see how they feel like they've reached their pinnacle. And for me, it was really also important to let everybody know that this was never my pinnacle. This most definitely was a goal, and it was a rung in the ladder, if you wanted to say. And it was definitely something that I wanted to achieve. And I think my emotions after I got the award really give you an idea of how I was feeling. So I'd actually have this speech on video. I will have to share that, actually. It's quite funny. But when I received the award, because we knew who was nominated, there was 11 amazing peers. There was some tough competition, and I knew there was 11 of us that were going to be nominated and were decided on the night. Now, we had no idea. There was just one winner. They didn't give any indication it was until they just said the name on the night. Now, the second I heard my name, I was completely ecstatic. I was beyond happy, holding back tears. And then of course we celebrated, and I actually snuck out I was going to say early, but it was like 11:30 p.m., which was pretty early for some people, and had some time to go back to the hotel room and be with myself. And the second thing that I felt after being ecstatic was relief. I actually was like, whew, I did it. It's interesting concept to actually have such an important goal in your sights and to reach it. And so that second emotion that I felt was real relief, like, whew, I did it. And then, hey, KP. And then my next emotion after that relief was what I spoke about today in my quote is content. I just had a moment to just sit there and be content with myself. Just sit there and go, I did it. You know, I finally did it. It's hard work. I got there. And it was really interesting because I had always planned that this award, as I said, was part of the journey. It was never, ever the finish. So when I had that moment after content, I then allowed myself to find my ambition and motivation, which, if you know me, I'm never lacking motivation or ambition. But it was really important that I also wanted to express to my loyal community that this was just never going to be the pinnacle. And I think that so many times thanks Amanda, so many times we reach these big goals and it can almost be deflating afterwards because you get the crash down the other side. And this is really, I just wanted to share with you how you can prepare yourself to not have that crash as well. You know, we have little goals and we have big goals and we have end goals. This was never my Olympic medal at the end. This was huge, don't get me wrong. And I was ridiculously excited, ridiculously content. But I've got some big plans for you guys coming up, so you worry about that. But one thing that has a little bit flawed me and that I wasn't prepared for is the amazing support and recognition that I've received. So yeah, I'm a true believer in that everything that happens to us is because of our own actions. And so with that, sometimes we get so focused on, being independent and not relying on, outside influences that sometimes we forget that there is that outside influence happening. And the last few days, I have been so inundated with messages, phone calls, people dropping into the office, dropping in flowers. I mean, I never would expect beautiful colleagues and business partnerships, real estate agents, title insurers, so many different people to be bringing in such amazing, gratitude and things. It's amazing. And for me, I am so passionate about being in a community like this. So we've got two communities that I want to shout out to. First of all, there is the Institute of Conveyancers community. So all my conveyancing peers across New South Wales, it's really refreshing and bloody inspiring to be in an industry that is just pushing always the boundaries of what we can do and what we can't do. We've come from an era where we're all at each other's throats, where we always kept our cards close to us, to now realizing, collaborating, pushing out so that we can always be the best of each other. And to have so many of my direct competitors go out of their way to either nominate me or also to congratulate me. And that's pretty amazing stuff, for direct competitors to go out of their way to nominate and to congratulate me. Do you know how much leadership and maturity and vision that takes? It's amazing. And the other community I want to thank is our amazing local community here. The support that I've received, coming from the Chamber of Commerce, our local property market, real estate agents, brokers, they've all just been amazing. And I actually took time out to send a personal thank you to a few key players in our industry who I felt like I need to thank towards this award because they have supported me for so long. And, some people might have thought it was a bit radical what I was doing. Not that it was that radical, but that's what disruption is. It's having a vision, it's changing things up, modernizing the industry and doing it differently to make it better. And so there's been some big key players that have stuck with me during this. And so I made sure that I reached out to them and said, thank you. Thank you for being part of this. And holy cow, can you believe that this came back to Aubrey? You know, like, this doesn't speak volumes just about my business. I can't run my business without an amazing team. I can't run my business without a booming market. And yes, of course, I have an amazing market share here in Aubrey, but you know, people in Wagga, I have now got market share in Wagga. We're going out Holbrook and Sydney. You know, I've been doing a lot in Sydney, and I'm really reaching out that even more. And for people now to just go and see that, and that community that's coming, it's pretty amazing. And so I did an interview today about the award. And one thing they asked me was, what's some advice for your peers? And this is for direct peers in my industry. And this was a funny one because I want to help my peers. Of course I do, but they are competition. And I also, you know, with my mentoring, there's only so much I want to give away, you know. So I'll give them a little bit of the how, and then they can pay me for the why. But one thing that I said was, you know, don't be afraid of change. And that goes for everything, not just entrepreneurs, small business, whatever. Whatever you're doing in your life, don't be afraid of change, because you know what? What's the absolute worst that's going to happen? You stuff up. Who cares? You didn't go backwards. You learned something and you grow. So I just think that that's so important as well. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you all jumping in. I also just wanted to say about this award that it says a lot for my industry to recognize the hard work that I have put in, because there is some brainiest, genius, amazing hard workers out there. And to have it over them, that's, you know, it's pretty special. And with my quote today, I said on Facebook and Instagram that it is okay to feel content. And when you, and this goes for all you people out there striving, no matter what it be, whether it be your gym workouts, in the pool, your writing, your business, whatever it is, when we are striving so hard for excellence all the time, it is really hard to just stop and take some time to pat ourselves on the back for our little successes along the way. And so that's why I said, being the word content, it brings often, people think it means that you're being complacent or you're kind of stopping and standing still. It doesn't mean that at all. It's allowing yourself to sit in it. I did it. Years of hard work and finding new levels. Yes, Amanda, it was. And it was opening my mind to new communities. It was allowing myself to recognize that solopreneurship is a lonely, lonely place. And I can see why a lot of people struggle there. So that's why it was really important to build a team around me, invite a network around me, start collaborations that improved me. And I've talked about learning, personal development. It is all there. So I'm going to sign off by saying a thank you to you guys. Yeah? This award represents so much. It's not just, I did this, I just showed up this year, I just won this award. It's 9.5 years of pushing hard, testing the boundaries, believing in my clients, educating people around me to what I can provide, seeing an industry that ignited passion in me to disrupt our entire property law industry and keep pushing forward, trying to see and focus above what you can see. If the journey of everybody else is here, I was always trying to forecast what I could do to continue to bring different client-centric, experiences. And so putting myself in the shoes of the consumer, so much more. So thank you. It was a bit raw and from the heart tonight, but I really felt like it was a little bit of a journey I needed to share. And I just really wanted to say, this is so not my gold medal. This is not my Olympics. This was, yes, 100% one of my goals. I had my sights on it for a while and I worked towards it. But there was no crash afterwards. There was content. There was happiness. But it was just one more little rung in the step of my ladder of many, many things to come. So I will keep turning up. I'll keep being here on Wednesday, and I'll see you next week. Good luck, everybody. Please keep pushing, keep striving, keep trying, keep being, just get out there and have a crack, yeah? Thank you for coming on.